Hello. What's going on, guys? It is the 5th of January, 2023. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's been liking, commenting, and subscribing. I've been getting a lot of support from people in the comments and things like that, and in emails and other things like that. With either similar issues or just support. I appreciate that. It's been almost a year since I developed my twitching. When it hits February, it will be a year. I got sick with COVID around January 28th. And then my twitching started about 5 days into my recovery, 5 to 7 days roughly into my recovery, putting it between, February 1st to February 5th, something like that. Right at about my daughter's birthday, right around that time. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. That's kind of the update there. It's almost been a year of nonstop twitching every day, hundreds of times every day. But I will say that there is some good news. It is less. I got on some anti-anxiety medication called Buspirone, and that has been the only thing that has made any significant difference in the tolerability of my symptoms, in my anxiety levels, in my ability to just not focus on my symptoms. It's the only thing that's helped. And it has very low side effects. The only side effects that I've had from it were a little bit of dizziness right when I first take it, about the first hour or so. And then that goes away. But that depends on the dose. So I was prescribed initially 10 milligrams twice daily. I started out lower than that because I know that I'm pretty sensitive to medication. And so I would take 5 milligrams twice daily. And that was enough to give me pretty substantial anxiety relief. It didn't happen right away, but I did notice a fairly immediate benefit. But the benefits peaked right around week 4 or 5. And now I'm not the type that really wanted to take medication. But the thing is that I was suffering very greatly. And I really couldn't cope. And so I did a bunch of research, and I turned to the safest alternative medicine that I could find, which was the Buspirone. So it's not an SSRI, but and so it doesn't have a lot of the negative effects of an SSRI, and I feel a lot safer taking it. I'll put a link down in the video to the videos that I watched, just an easy access video from a Well Now doctor, he's a pretty critical guy of a lot of medications, and he recommended both. He recommended the Buspirone, and he even said that if you combine it with melatonin, it acts as an antidepressant. And I looked into that, and it seems to be backed up by multiple peer-reviewed studies. But that has, I don't know if it is the reduction of my care of the symptoms, or if the Buspirone is having a direct effect. I'm not sure. All I know is that it seems like I twitch less. I still twitch really bad when I yawn, especially on the back side of my left arm, like right along this area right here. I get a consistent twitch right along the back side of my back arm, my back left arm there, right along my tricep. My hands shake really bad when I yawn. My whole arm and upper body trembles pretty bad. I mean, I'm trembly all over, but that's a normal occurrence. It doesn't happen every time I yawn, but if it's a deep enough yawn, it happens. I still have my intermittent anisocoria, which are my intermittent pupils. I seem to be very reactive to food. Food will make me like really itchy, or it'll make me really gassy, or something like that. That's kind of a new thing. Sorry if you guys can hear it. It's raining like crazy outside of my house right now. So if everything shuts off, then I apologize about that. But and then I still have my my pattern glare in my vision. The Boost Prone hasn't helped that. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't seem to really. It seems to get better and worse, just depending on I don't know what, but it just kind of comes and goes. Where like I'll see the things flick, like harsh lines flickering and moving and stuff like that. This is my worst symptom. I would take twitching all day over having the visual symptoms, because the visual symptoms are horrifying. It makes you feel like you're in like a psychosis or something like that. So this all started after I got COVID. I did have one dose of the Pfizer vaccine back in November 11th of 2021. It would have been, and then I got sick in February of 2022, or in late January of 2022, and then I got the twitching and everything else in February of that year. The vision symptoms didn't develop until later. It took months for that to develop. Around month 6, I think, is when I started getting the pattern glare. Didn't have it before, just really bad twitching and really bad anxiety. Really poor really poor mental health. I was crying all the time. I was convinced I was dying. Just in a very dark state. So I've been taking my supplement stack, I guess you could call it, but I'm too afraid to take most supplements now and most medications, so I just stick with what I know has been fairly effective. I keep it very simple. I take my Boost-Brone. I split it up into 3 doses. I take 5 milligrams. I just split the 10 milligrams in 2 because they're scored. Take 5 milligrams, 5 milligrams, and 5 milligrams for 15 milligrams. What I want to do is I want to, when I can fulfill my prescription, I can switch it to a 7.5 milligram tab, and then I'll just take 2. That's what my plan is. Because 10 seems to make me dizzy, but 5 doesn't seem to do that at all, whether it's on an empty stomach or a fed stomach. So 7.5 might be the sweet spot. I'm going to test that out next. Sometimes it doesn't make me dizzy, but I don't know. I don't like the 10 milligram dizzy feeling when it does happen. It's not very enjoyable. It makes you really lethargic and you want to sleep, basically. I haven't had any issues with insomnia, but I have been taking, obviously, the melatonin. I take a 3 milligram sustained release melatonin and every night, and then to combine with the Boost-Brone. And then I take just an over-the-counter allergy medication, Zyrtec. So, just because I have bad allergies. And I've heard that there might be some relation with the twitching and what's going on with the histamine response. So, I've always taken some form of an allergy medication, so I don't consider it anything really out of the ordinary. But I've cut down pretty much all my other supplements. Just because I want to rule things out. I don't want to contribute negatively to anything. They're not FDA regulated. I don't trust them anymore. I don't want to contribute to anything worse than what I've already got. I used to take vitamin D. I used to take, zinc, copper. I used to take creatine. I took all of these things, and I never got any relief with any of that. So I took magnesium glycinate for a long time, and I started taking magnesium threonate. I just took a bunch of supplements, I could show my medicine cabinet, and it was atrocious. It's just stacked full to the brim. I was taking alpha lipoic acid. I was taking Tudka, all this stuff. So I stopped all that, and so now I'm just on the melatonin, the Boost-Brone, and my allergy medication. That's it. Besides moderately trying to eat a healthy diet. I slip up on that every once in a while. The good news is that I keep gaining weight. I am very hefty now, which I need to work on. I'm actually so hefty that I need to start losing weight again. So I'm going to start working on that. Maybe incorporating some intermittent fasting and some time restricted eating, and then just eating healthy outside of that. I have found that there's a potential link with my twitching with animal-based protein, that if I eat too much turkey or chicken or beef, or I don't eat pork, or eggs, that I can get like a flare-up. But that's not really super tested, because as soon as I cut the animal meat down, it seemed like my twitch is reduced. And so I was like, I'm not adding it back in because I just want relief. So I'm not super sure about that, but I don't know if it coincided with the boost bone kicking in. I don't know, because it seemed like an overnight change to me. But yeah, that's kind of the update. I'm still here. I'm going to be streaming on this channel now. I was streaming on Twitch before, but I'm going to stream on my YouTube channel now because I kind of like the platform better, and more people have reached out to me. I've had so much more support and interaction from people on my YouTube channel that it's obviously where I would want to be at to answer questions when I'm live or whatever or anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of an update on the ALS thing, ALS/BFS question. My neurologists seem to be pretty unanimous. They don't think that I have ALS. They also say that it's too early to tell though, and but they say the longer the time goes on, you don't have weakness. The longer the time goes on, you're not radically losing weight. Those are all good signs. So both my neurologists seem to think it's related to either COVID or the vaccine. That's what they think. So, and that's what they talk about every time I see them. So I'm inclined to believe them. Whether it was the vaccine, it didn't start right after, so it kind of makes me a little skeptical about that because it was right after I got COVID, but maybe the vaccine messed my immune system up, and then when I got COVID, it sent it even more haywire. That part I'm just not sure of. All I know is that I was a healthy dude, trying to get in the best shape of my life so that I could hang out with my daughter, and then I got kind of hit by lightning, and my entire life changed. And now I have to wear glasses like these so that my eyes don't hurt when I look at things, because these help. These are FL41 anti-migraine glasses. I would recommend them to anybody who has visual stress syndrome of any kind, whether it's visual snow or whether it's pattern glare or anything like that. I would recommend these big time. I love these. These were cheap on Amazon. They came with a full blue blocker pair, which is an orange pair, and they came with this color, like a rosy color. And these ones I can wear all the time pretty much because they don't alter the color spectrum that badly. It just makes everything look so much smoother and nicer. It reduces eye strain big time. So then besides my twitching, I've got my visual symptoms like I've already talked about. And then I have another thing that's going on is I'm just getting a lot of numbness and tingling. Like my nerves are just irritated. Like I've developed symptoms of ulnar nerve problems. So like at night, sorry, I didn't mean to hit my microphone there. These fingers will go numb, and like this whole part of my hand. Sometimes, not all the time, but mainly my left hand, not so much in my right hand. My quadricep will go numb while I'm sitting down or while I'm laying down on my back. So that's kind of new. It wasn't that bad before. But I did have weird tingling that was going from my hands to my feet before, and the buzzing, and that seems to have reduced. It's just like playing whack-a-mole with symptoms. It's awful. So I don't know. I apologize about my lack of uploads. It's been really busy here. I had a really bad bout of like bronchitis, it seemed like, for like almost a month, and I could barely, and my voice was super hoarse. I'm still recovering from it. I still kind of have a little bit of it, of the chest congestion and stuff like that. My daughter had it, I had it, and then we had a really awful sudden death in the family, and so I've been reeling and dealing with that, trying to, we got family that's coming to stay with us, so this weekend's going to be pretty packed for me, so I apologize about my lack of uploads that way. But I'll be pretty much present on my YouTube channel. Anybody who ever wants to come in, I'll be live. I'll be streaming with my buddies or whatever. Or I'll be uploading a video. And if anybody ever wants questions answered or something like that, feel free to email me. It's Wolfenhaus, like my YouTube channel name, at pm.me, or wolfenhaus@gmail.com. It's either of those. Feel free to message me about whatever. This video is mainly for the people who suffer from the physical side of the things that I'm dealing with. So, yeah, just let me know, because I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to help out whoever, or to give community to whoever has this kind of awful affliction, because it is pretty terrible. But I will say that there is hope. If you're really early on, if you're a month on, 2 months on, into this whole thing, 3 months, I'm here. It's been almost a full year, so close. And I don't have any observed failure. I don't have any observable serious weakness. I am trembly and not as strong as I used to, but I'm sedentary now, and I need to start fixing that. I know a lot of people with worse symptoms that are dealing with a lot scarier stuff. But I am pretty stable. The main issue that I have is when that all happened, I had it just sent my mental states just haywire and horrible. So it's obviously something to do with like a neurological issue and a nervous system issue. So if I've left anything out, feel free to comment, and I'll answer those questions. But that's pretty much where we're at. And I still have the tremble in my left hand. If like I grip something small in these like 3 fingers, which is scary as crap, because that's my pincer grip, which is something that is related to ALS, the deterioration of those specific muscles. If I hold something really small, or if like I press my fingers together and then I let them away slowly, my index finger trembles really bad. Like it'll just go into a tremor, and it kind of takes a second to get out of it. That's still there, never has left. It's always been there. I talked to another guy who said that might be related to my ulnar issues, which are definitely more present in my left hand. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm going to be working on potentially trying to cure my ulnar issues, maybe wearing a brace when I sleep, to see if I can alleviate some of those issues and stop irritating it as much. But yeah, that's pretty much the updates for all my Twitchers, for all of my fellow BFS crowd that are afraid of ALS, which I understand completely. I'm so sorry that you guys are dealing with this. So yeah, that's kind of the update on that regard. Feel free to comment, and I'll answer any questions, or feel free to reach out to me via email. I'll be happy to talk to you. Even if you want an elevated type of talking medium, like a type of a Zoom call or a Skype call or Discord or whatever, I'm happy to do that, because I seem to be one of the lucky ones. I seem to be one of the ones that's kind of still around and hasn't developed into anything super serious yet. It's just pretty much been stable since it started, and it's in a way started to decline a little bit since I got on an anti-anxiety medication that isn't wrecking some other aspect of my life like an SSRI might for some people. So that's it, guys. I appreciate all of you. I'm going to make another video talking about some of the spiritual aspects that I've kind of been involved with. I was on a podcast or a video with some other brothers, and so I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So this is just going to be one for mainly the health issues, and then I'm going to make a video about that to address some questions and to ask for feedback. All right, guys, have a great day. As always, hug your loved ones, and may God be with us all in these in dark times like these. Thank you.